Hi everyone, NUSensei here. As you can see, I'm sporting a new look, but if this isn't enough to attract you, I also have a new bow. This is the Mariner Ming bow, and it's an absolutely amazing bow, both in look, in weight, in feel. I've heard a lot of people say that if you're going to buy a traditional Asiatic bow, you have to buy a Mariner. Now these don't come cheap, but oh man, this is such a gorgeous bow. I haven't yet shot it, but I would say beyond all doubt that this is definitely a luxury bow and well deserving of its reputation. Before I shoot this bow, I do need a couple of things. The first is a new set of arrows. The second is that I need to get used to its draw weight. This particular bow has been made to be 65 pounds at 31-inch draw. Now I don't have a 31-inch draw. At my draw length with the thumb draw behind the ear, I'm about 28 inches. And at 28 inches, this is a 54-pound bow, which isn't that bad on paper, but keep in mind that I normally shoot perhaps a 40 to 45 pound bow with a traditional cheek anchor, and my Olympic style bow is about 36 pounds. So this is 10 to 20 pounds higher than what I normally draw. Now, can I draw it back? Well, yes, I can. In fact, I should be able to use it without too much problem. I have the conditioning and strength and technique to properly use this with enough practice. But this doesn't mean everyone can pick up a heavier bow and use it well right away. The concept I want to target specifically in this video is the idea that people want to buy the draw weight they want to use, or a heavy draw weight, and practice by using incomplete draws or half draws until they're able to achieve a full draw. And this approach to training has sometimes been cited as an advantage of recurve bows, which is true compared to a compound bow. You don't have to draw a recurve bow all the way to use it, so you can shoot the bow from a half draw position. Now, does this mean that you should do this for training? The answer is no. It's actually not a very good idea to do so. If anything, it carries much more risk than benefits. Again, the logic behind the half draw training method is that if you're not strong enough to draw it all the way, eventually, and this could be weeks to months of training, you will draw further and further and further back until you reach that magical full draw. That's not how it works. This problem will resonate a lot more with weight training. This will make sense. If you want to improve your strength in a particular muscle group, you need to activate that muscle group in your training. When you draw a bow only halfway, you're not using the muscle groups that you need to become a strong archer. By using only a half draw, pulling it part way, you're putting more strain on your triceps. However, your archery muscles are your back muscles and your shoulder muscles here. So a proper draw using the right muscle groups will use your entire back. So it looks more like this. So that way you are basically sitting inside the bow, you are offering a very steady frame, and you put the load on your big muscles in your back. Now, in comparison, by using only your triceps, all you're doing is putting weight on your weak muscles. You're not actually going all the way back and loading it through your shoulder and into your back. You're going halfway and you're stuck here. It doesn't matter how much you train like this, you'll simply never achieve the full draw because you're using the wrong muscles to get to this point. Now, the bigger problem is that it also puts pressure on the wrong muscles, especially your shoulders. A lot of people will find themselves risking shoulder injuries by putting excessive weight on the very weak shoulder muscles, especially the rotator cuff. And this is perhaps the most common archery injury of any form of archery. But trying to use a bow that is too heavy for you by pulling it back and finding a shoulder popping up, even one rep of the wrong technique with a very heavy bow can cause damage to this muscle. And that's really bad. If you want to shoot a heavy bow and you wreck this muscle, that might be the end of your archery career, full stop. I mean, the whole idea of doing reps in training is to achieve complete reps. So if you're using the bow as a training device and pulling it back, well, pulling it back once and holding it, that's 1 rep. Sure, okay. 2, 3, and so on. So that does count because you've activated the right muscle group, you've demonstrated control, and therefore these count. If you're pulling halfway, that's not 1 rep. And to count this as a form of exercise is kind of silly because you are lulling yourself into a false sense of achievement because you're working hard, you're sweating, you're going, oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4. But all you're doing is just stressing out your front shoulder, your back shoulder, your tricep, and not working on the muscles in your back, which you need to do archery correctly. In essence, what you're doing is basically like half a bench press or half a curl or half a push-up. Halves don't really count. You need to do a full rep. So instead of doing an exercise which focuses on doing a half rep, focus on exercises which allow you to do a full rep. And that way you will build up those correct muscles more efficiently. And if that means you can't achieve a full rep with your heavy bow, then don't use your heavy bow. If you have a lighter bow, then sure, you can use that. But of course, you're not going to buy a bow just to train with. So look at stretching bands. There are tools like this Bow Trainer, which offer multiple stretching bands, which means you can customize the amount of weight which you're pulling and therefore train with. So if you only pull a light weight, you pull 1 band and you achieve full draw. And this is much more efficient and much more beneficial to your training routine than having too heavy a draw. Now, if this is too light for you, then use stronger bands, or in this case, multiple bands. So we can combine a couple of different bands, they get a higher weight, feel a bit more load. Oh, that's nice. And that's probably more appropriate. So this is a far safer way and a far more effective way of training the right muscles instead of using a heavy draw and trying to get only halfway. Again, the big emphasis is try to use the right muscles. If you want to build up your back muscles for archery, then you need to achieve full reps or full draw in order to get that gain. To summarize, the half draw can be done, but it's not the best way to improve your strength and conditioning to use heavier bows. And the main reason is it's the wrong muscles you're training. Ideally, you will pick a bow with a draw weight which you can comfortably handle. If it's beyond your current means, then you still work up to it. But you do have to do it properly and safely, otherwise you may risk injuries which will hamper your future archery career. Anyway, this is NUSensei. Hope you found this interesting and helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.